Now, when you do a question, it is public, and you have the option to decide whether or not the kids can reply to each other or not, but everybody can see each other's answers. If you were ever in a position where you wanted the kids to be able to respond in Google Classroom to a question, but not have everyone see it, you could try this. So I created this as an assignment. It's not a Google question, it's an assignment. And then I just had them write a private comment to me. So for the assignment, they open it up, and instead of turning something in, they just write in the private comments. And then I'm able to write back to them, respond to them, or even just check in with them depending on what it is I'm asking them. So this is what it looked like here. So I can see Kendall's response, but nobody else can. And then I can go back and respond to her as a private comment if that was appropriate, and it could be a conversation, or it could just be something that I wanted them to respond to, but I didn't want everybody else to see their individual responses. You could assign a Google question to just a few students. So if you look here, the default to clicking on all students is to check them all. But if you just check here, it unchecks everybody, and then you can go back and just check the students you would want in a group. So in theory, you could group the first 5 students and ask them one question, and group another 5 students and ask them a different question. Or you can all ask them all the same question, but just by putting them in different groups, their conversation is more focused, and then they're more likely to respond to each other. So this is actually something that I was just considering as I was putting this together and haven't tried it yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it out when I get back to school in January. All right. Using Google Forms for student uploads. I went ahead and put Hamilton up here because that is a game changer in the world of musical theater. And I think I'm just starting to scratch the surface on how using Google Forms as uploads could really benefit the momentum regarding feedback, collaboration, and intrinsic motivation. So I'll show you how I used it earlier this semester and some of the ideas that I have moving forward to help facilitate personalized learning. So first of all, to model my Genius Hour pursuit, I went ahead and created a mini project. And so this was my project, the Gratitude Project, and I did this right before Thanksgiving. And this is what the form looked like for the students. So basically, I asked them to take photos of people and the things that they were grateful for, along with a sign identifying what it was. And so if you look down here at the bottom, there's this little blue part where it says Add File. And so what they had to do was, after they took the picture, they had to upload that to Google Drive, and then they could add it to the Google form. This is what it looked like as I created the form. So I had a couple different choices here in regard to what type of file. Obviously I did image just because that's what I asked them for. And right here you can limit the number that they could turn in. I limited it to 1. In hindsight, I wish I had, made it higher, because kids gave me 3, 5, 7 pictures and they had to fill out a form for each one. But you could have them turn in a document, a spreadsheet, a PDF, a video. You can see the list there. You could also unclick this and let them turn in any kind of file they wanted to. It would just really depend on your goals, what you were trying to do by having them turn something into a form. So let me show you what that looks like once they turn it in. So once they turn it in, these are 2 different pictures here. The first picture here at the top shows you what it looks like in my drive. So I searched hashtag 053. I just use that to help me find things in my drive. And the first one that comes up is the form. The second one that comes up are the responses. And if you notice, it's a folder. And so everything that the kids turned into that Google form went into that folder. And I did it for all of my classes. I had them tell me what class period they were in, but because of the nature of the project, I let every single kid who participated, their images went into the same folder. But you could certainly do a different form for different classes or different assignments. But anyway, down here, this is what it looks like when you click on the folder. And every single one of these images is in that folder. When I open up the folder, this is what it looks like. You see all of those images there. And so there's a couple different things I can do with having all of these images in the same place. And remember, this could be all of the documents that they turned in or all of the spreadsheets that they turned in. But for this, they're just pictures. So this is just every single picture that a kid turned into that particular Google form. So that's what it looks like when I open it up. So when I click on the folder though, like if I right click on it, instead of opening up the whole folder, I right click on it, I get this list here. And I want to show you two different things that you can do with the folder. The first one is where it says get shareable link. And the second one is where it says download. And I'm actually going to start with the download portion because that's what I did. My project was to take all of these photos and to put them into an iMovie slideshow. So I just downloaded every single one of those pictures to my computer, and then I just right-clicked every single one of those photos and threw them into iMovie, and that took 2 seconds. So if you wanted to create an iMovie, or if you were having the kids create an iMovie, it's just a really easy way to take a whole bunch of images and throw them into iMovie or Google Slides or wherever it is you might want to put them. Now, at the same time, it's also a place where all of the assignments that you assigned are in the same place. And I find that in Google Classroom, I'm often clicking on one kid's assignment and it's got to load and open, and then I got to click on another kid's assignment, and it just takes forever. Whereas if they're all in the same folder, I can click on a bunch of them at once, open them all up, and then it's much easier to look at them. So that's just making my life a little bit easier and moving that along a little bit faster. Under shareable link, I can get this link to the folder, I can share it with the kids, and then they have access to everything in the folder. So if I asked everyone to find different images from World War II, or to find different examples of forces in motion, or different examples of people using Spanish, I don't know. They could all throw it into the Google form and then have all access to the same pot of information. So I thought that would be kind of cool that they'd be able to pull from that and then use it to collaborate on different assignments or projects or things that you might ask them to do. Again, this is a remix. I'm hoping that by hearing this idea, people will run with it and come up with some other ways to use it. So those are the two ways that I've used it as a download to create an iMovie. I'm looking forward to using it as a shareable space. All right, Google Slides. So keeping it classic or going for a rap battle, and I put a classic Eminem rap battle down there, which if this was in Google Slides, it would play automatically. But anyway, we already use Google Slides all the time. We use it for presentations, we use it for kids to interact with, we use it for kids to present for us. We've got a lot of different things that we're doing with Google Slides already that are awesome. I just came up with a couple of different ideas that I thought might work for a variety of contents. So this first one here, the example is comma corrections, so it's a grammar type assignment, but I think it would lend itself really well to math assignments and maybe a study guide in social studies or science. But basically, instead of giving each kid an individual Google Slide presentation to work on, I only gave them one for the class period. So I did not click on Students Can View File. I clicked on Students Can Edit File, which at first is really scary because every single kid in the class in the same Google Slide presentation messing with it is just enough to, onset a panic attack. It takes a little time for the kids to get used to working on something like this at the same time, but the purpose behind it is so that everyone can see each other's work. So this is what it looked like when I was creating it, and then this is what it looks like for the student. And if you notice, there's the title of the assignment, and then it just says, follow the directions in the slide presentation. So the directions are actually in the shared document that they can all edit. So when they open it up, this is the first slide. So what I'm having them do is claim a slide, put their name on it, go ahead and take a sentence that needs to be corrected and explain why it needs to be corrected. And this is easily applicable to claim a slide, show me a math problem. Claim a slide, show me your answer to number 5 on the study guide. Claim a slide and show me how to, convert this chemical reaction. So, and I also think in the future, I might assign kids numbers. So for example, here I said claim a slide, and Mahir went ahead and claimed this one and put his math problem on there for me. I didn't ask for SpongeBob, but that's kind of awesome. But in the future, I might say, Susie, you are always number 4. Bobby, you are always number 5. So this way there's none of that, you took my slide, get off my slide. All that can kind of go away. And then also I can say to Mahir, okay, your slide number 4, I want you to go look at slide number 7, or, you know, the one after you, whatever's easiest. And you check that and do some commenting on that, whether or not it's correct or not. And you could kind of have the kids check each other's work through Google Slides, especially if maybe they're all answering the same question, or maybe each kid has a different number from the math worksheet or from the study guide. So I want to thank you guys. If you made it this far, I want to thank you guys for watching this, for considering some of these tools that you probably already use in a new way. Again, I really think that using these tools as a means of feedback, collaboration, and, you know, always asking kids to try to be pushing their thinking forward is really the bridge towards those personalized small groups. And trying to go from using the iPad to throwing kids in small groups without kind of working through that bridge is hard. You know, it's going to take a little bit of time for people to be able to facilitate those small groups. And I feel like a lot of these tools may allow you to figure out what works best for you, to remix it in your own way that makes sense for your content, or for, you know, your personal classroom, because we are professionals. And to say that every classroom has to have a small group setting twice a week when we're not used to doing that, it feels a little unnatural at first. And so maybe taking a couple of these tools and sprinkling them in here and there may help you get there at some point, or may just help you manage using Google Classroom. Because I know that if I only use it for kids to turn in work, then I've just created a paper management tool that doesn't use paper. And while that might be really helpful to my practice and my organization, it doesn't really create that collaborative space that Google Classroom has the potential to be. So I can't tell you the last time that I actually put a grade number in Google Classroom. I'm more often typing something to kids or commenting on the work that they turned in, or asking them to comment on each other's work. And it's a work in progress. You know, it's something that I'm still remixing and playing with. In this workshop, if I had been there in person, I would have asked you to try out some of these things and or to brainstorm in person with other content members what might work the best for you. And I still would love to hear from you if you made it this far and there's something that you think, wow, I really liked that idea, but it doesn't work for math. I wonder if X, Y, Z. I would love to have that conversation with you. I love brainstorming those types of things with people, and I'd be more than happy to do that with you. This is going to be on a website with some other handouts and links, so feel free to explore those and to check back with me. I miss you guys. I'm not supposed to do mentally exhausting activities, and this would definitely fall under that category. So if I wasn't mentally exhausted, I'm sure I'd be going back and adding the music and splicing this a little bit more, and but this is what I can do. And so I hope that you have enjoyed it to the best of your ability, and I hope that everything's going well at school. Mwah, miss you. Bye.